Hi guys, Rachel here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a video all about my mermaid book collection. If you love mermaids, if you are joining me with Mermay May, the month of May, Mermay, or if you're just curious to see, maybe you're in the mood for a mermaid fiction and you want to see, some ideas of books that you can read, please grab something to drink, get a snack, cozy on up, and let's watch. Okay, so I wanted to film this video for a while now, but I was waiting on the mailman literally to deliver the last and final book of all of the books that I had bought throughout literally the last month or so. I already have a pretty nice stack of books that I've already owned, mermaid related, not including all of my nonfiction kind of books or all of that. Like, I decided not to bring those out. I'm sticking more so with fiction with the exception of one book. So let me get to it. I'm going to show you guys first my mermaid book collection of stuff that I already have. And then I'm going to show you the shit ton of books, like probably 10 books that I recently bought for the month of Mermay. Okay, so first off, let's get the nonfiction out of the way. Not really nonfiction because, but it is this glorious book called Mermaids, the Myths, Legends, and Lore. This book is so magical, and if you are a mermaid lover, I highly recommend this one. It goes into the legends, the myths, different myths from around the world. It talks about, like, just looking at the table of contents, we have mermaids of the ancient world, mermaids of the British Isle and Ireland, European mermaids, Russian, Slavic, merfolk, African and Indian mermaids, mermaids of the Far East, mermaids of the South Sea, in Australia, mermaids of North and South America. Oh my gosh, there's like everything. So if you were ever looking for mermaid, just a mermaid book of all of their fiction, like the fictional stories, the myths and all of that, this is a really good one. It's really interesting. It's really, really pretty the way it's done up. It's just a different book and it's gorgeous. So highly recommend if you guys are looking for something like that. And it's just a little treasure to keep. Just looks like just a little treasure. Okay, so let's talk about the fiction. Majority of my books here are young adult. Young adult meaning it's the authors write it with the audience of the ages between 13 and like 17. But you can be pleasantly surprised that there's some juicy stuff that usually comes out in the young adult books. Now, I do have some adult mermaid books, and if I can remember correctly with some of these, I'll make sure to let you know if it's adult or not adult. But yeah, so one of the first ones is the Mermaids Mirror. Now, I'm not going to talk to you guys about what they're all about, except for maybe briefly. Some of these, majority of these, I have not read yet, but I just wanted to show you guys to give you something to think about. So I will kind of briefly read the back. But The Mermaid Mirror by L.K. Madigan is an enchanting story about a girl's search for her true self. So if I remember correctly, the character here, her name is Lena. She's lived her whole life near the beach, but she feels a draw to the ocean. Obviously, it's a mermaid book. You can kind of already tell. She probably has some kind of lineage or family or something having to do with the ocean. But The Mermaid Mirror is this. I want to say this is a series, but I'm not 100% sure. This book came out in 2010. I picked it up at a book sale that one of my local libraries was having. And yeah, Mermaid Mirror. Also, all of these books I mentioned, I will be listing them in the description box. I can't guarantee you they will be in order. I will try to leave them in order as how I mention them, but I can't guarantee it because, yeah, but they'll be there. Okay. Waking Storms by Sarah Porter, the author of The Lost Voices, which I also have that book too. So Waking Storms. I think this is part 2 actually of Lost Voices. Yeah, book 2 of Lost Voices. It's a trilogy. So let me get the Lost Voices. And actually, you guys, I actually have 2 copies of the Lost Voices. One of them was a book that I got at the same bookstore as the Mermaid Mirror. But the other one, I think it was like one I randomly stumbled across. I found it at a thrift store. So they're both brand new, pretty much, except for the paperback. But this one's pretty much brand new. Like, I don't even think it's ever been cracked open. I attempted to read this book and then I kind of lost interest and I jumped onto other things. So yeah, my bookmark is right there. Like, I barely got into it. But I'm thinking of doing a giveaway for Mermay, and part of the giveaway I want to do is give away a book. So you guys will be able to win a chance to win the Lost Voices, which is book 1 of a trilogy. Book 2 is Waking Storms, this one. And one thing that I really, really like, not just the story itself, because I haven't read it, but I'm a sucker for beautiful covers and cover art. And can we just appreciate the gorgeous metallic look of this mermaid? And the cover art is so beautiful. So beautiful. Like, even if I never read this book, I just appreciate it for that. Same thing with Waking Storms Part 2. And it says a trilogy, so there's got to be another one. But freaking gorgeous. And I don't have the 3rd book. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in winning a book, I will be hosting a giveaway. It's going to be on my Instagram account though, so you're going to have to go follow me on Instagram. All of the information will be in the description box. But yeah, so I have a paperback version and the hardback. I will probably keep the hardback for myself since it'll match the 2nd book. And I'll be giving away my paperback. It is gently used, but still good. Okay. Oh my God. I remember when this book, oh my gosh. So this book was actually a copy from a library I worked at. And I remember they were throwing this one out. It was in the bin to be withdrawn. And I was like, hell no, I'm taking this. So I bought it. I think they sold it to me for like 50 cents. This is called Mermaid by Carolyn Turgan. This one, oh, the books I just mentioned are all young adult. This is adult, okay? This is adult. It does have juicy stuff in it, I will say. It's been a while since I read this book, but I read it like two times already because I loved it that much. It is Mermaid is one sexy fairy tale, a bittersweet story about the tides that tug at the human heart. It's basically a sexy version of The Little Mermaid. So if you are looking for a juicy mermaid book with sex and romance and a twist to the tale, this is the one for you. And it's called Mermaid by Carolyn Turgan. So good. So good. I have read this one. I need to read it again though to do a proper book review because it's been a few years. I will say that. The last of my collection, my mermaid book collection. Oh, I have one more, but I don't know where I put him. I have one more. He's called Scales or something like that. Teeth is what he's called. That's another book I'm going to do a giveaway for. But anyways, oh well, too bad. I'm going to miss him. I don't know where he went. But yeah, there's one more. I have so many books, you guys. Okay. This next series is actually, it's a 3-part series. I bought all 3 books because my Barnes & Noble would always only have 1 or 2. And the day that I went, I literally went with the intention of buying, you know, the series, and they had all 3 books. And I took that as Spirit's sign of telling me to buy it all in one go. So I did. I can never remember the order that it goes. I want to say Of Poseidon is the first one. And so this is a young adult trilogy, Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. So you have Of Poseidon, Of Neptune, and Of Triton. Obviously, just by looking at the covers, you could tell it's young adult. I don't know if it's spicy. I don't know how good it is. I've never read it. So, beautiful, beautiful covers though. The only thing I don't like is that you don't see the mermaid tail. Like, it's just humans. So I don't know how close to human and mermaid does it get? I don't know, but I still don't allow myself to read book reviews on Goodreads on this series, because the ones that I have kind of looked at, that I've peeked at, have been negative, and I'm just like, I still want to read it. Some people just say something sucks and they don't know what they're talking about. So yeah. Okay, To Kill a Kingdom. So these are the books that I have recently purchased, okay? Some of them I bought brand new. To Kill a Kingdom, I bought this one brand new at Barnes & Noble, and this one I did read. I actually filmed a book review for it, so you may see that one popping up in the next week or so. But To Kill a Kingdom is a mermaid / pirate adventure. And in the book review, I went into a little bit more detail, but basically it's mermaids and pirates and all of the above. So it's a really, really good one. This is by Alexandra Christo. It is young adult nature. It's very mild. There's really nothing super juicy in it, which was kind of a wah for me, because I like juicy stuff in books when I read them. But the storyline and everything else was pretty good, so I enjoyed it regardless. Into the Drowning Deep. So I bought this one used off of Thrift Books along with so many of these other ones. They sent me the ARC copy, the advanced reading copy. Usually you're not supposed to resell these, so that's kind of funny. But Into the Drowning Deep, this is an adult mermaid tale. It's by Mira Grant, and Mira Grant is really known for writing zombie fiction. And so I call this like the mermaid zombie book. I did start reading it. I only got like 10% of the way through. And I stopped reading it, not because it wasn't good, but only because I needed something that was going to be a little bit faster pace for me to get through, so I could start filming book review videos for Mermay. That's the only reason. It's a really good book, and the storyline is going to be good. I could tell it's going to be good, but the text is kind of small, and it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. So you have like flesh-eating mermaids in this book, but it's like taking a fucking long time just to get to the flesh-eating mermaid part. And I could just tell it's going to be a slow burn kind of a book. I did take a peek at the book reviews on Goodreads, and a lot of people did say it is a slow burn. So it's one of those books where you have to have the patience to read it. I do have the patience, but not during Mermay. So I'm going to get back to that one probably towards fall when I'm in the mood for some horror. Okay. So there's that one. Oh my God, you guys. So this is an adult book. Okay. This is an adult book. This is called The Merman's Kiss. Even Monsters Need a Mate. This is by Tamsin Lee. First off, I started this yesterday and I'm already 90% done. Like I literally just have that like 20 pages left. It's freaking juicy. This had me blushing. I was reading this in bed next to my husband. Like my husband was on his phone doing whatever he was doing. And I was curled up reading this juicy, dirty little book. And I mean, I'm like giggling and my husband's like, what the fuck are you reading? And I'm like, I was like, I'm reading mermaid erotica. And he's like, what the hell? So, yes, it's Merman erotica. It is sex. It is dirty stuff. It is just the dirtiest, sexiest romance with a merman, and it is fucking out of this world, and I can't wait to film the book review for this. I will probably film it tomorrow because I'm gonna finish it tonight. Holy shit. And it's really small. It's a small book. It's only 130 something pages. This was a gem. I found this one on Amazon. Literally, it was an Amazon purchase. So it's a nasty little book, but it's so good. It's so good. Like in a nasty romance kind of a way. Some people just aren't into that. I love it. I just, every once in a while, I need a good sex book, and this is it for me. Oh my God. Okay. Fathomless. This is by Jackson Pierce. I want to say Fathomless is young adult. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. I don't know. This is a used, I bought this used off of Thrift Books. So I do appreciate used books. I'm not always buying them brand new. If I can find a cheap copy on used books, then I will. On Thrift Books, then I will. This says the ocean keeps her secrets. So this is, Lo doesn't know who she is or who she was. Once a human, she is now almost entirely a mermaid. A term too pretty for the soulless monster she's becoming. Then Lo meets Celia when they work together to rescue a handsome boy named Jude from drowning. Unlike Lo's ocean sisters, Celia has the ability to help Lo remember her human past. So she was once a human, now a mermaid. The two form a friendship, but soon find themselves competing for Jude's affection. A love triangle? Lo wants more than love, though. According to ocean lore, there's only one way for Lo to earn back her humanity. She must persuade a mortal to love her and steal his soul. So, kind of has a romance. It's kind of creepy. It kind of has like a dark twist to it, which I love. And it's mermaids. So, that is called Fathomless. This one was another used copy off of Thrift Books. This is called The Last Mermaid by Shanna Abe. I don't know what this is about. I just ordered it because it's a mermaid book. Well, yeah. This says 531 AD, the tiny island of Kel is said to be enchanted, inhabited by an extraordinary creature who comforts shipwrecked sailors passing into the next world. Prince Aidan of the Isles believes in no such nonsense until he awakens on Kel itself and meets the sensuous Siren, who rescued him from the sea. And then it goes on into 1721 and another whole thing with that, and then 2004. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's the same mermaid, I don't know or what, but this will be kind of interesting. This is adult. It's adult fiction. I don't know how good it's going to be. I didn't bother to look at the reviews. Like I said, I was just hunting for mermaid books, so I just picked this one up. So I'll let you guys know if I finish it this in Mermay season. I probably won't, but we'll see. Sea Change. This is by Amy Friedman. This is young adult. Sea Change. It's romance, definitely, obviously. You could tell by the cover. It says, when Miranda Merchant, 16 and level-headed, escapes her lonely hot summer in New York City, little does she know what awaits her. She steps off the ferry onto an island rife with legend lore and a past her logical mind can't make sense of. She isn't expecting to feel a connection to this unusual place, so filled with languorous charm and strange history. When she meets Leo, a mysterious local boy, she finds herself questioning everything she thought she knew about boys, friendship, reality, and love. Is Leo hiding something she never could have imagined? Is Leo a merman? So that's cool. It's like a love story, but with a twist, because Leo, the male in the story, could actually be the merman rather than a mermaid. Hang on one second. Okay, thank you for being patient. I had to like blow my nose and I didn't want to do it on camera. Next we have Selkie Girl. This is by Lori Brooks. And this was a used copy on Thrift Books, but it used to belong to the Houston Public Library. So that's kind of cute. So it's a Selkie story. When I was looking for mermaid books, I also wanted Selkie stories. And Selkies, if you guys aren't aware, Selkies are the stories of the people who can change into animals, right? It's kind of has to do with like that kind of lore. But basically it's like they have the skins of seals, and so they're seals, they're seal people. And then when they come on land, they shed their skins and they have to hide their skin somewhere where no one can take it, because that's the only way that they can change back into their Selkie self. So I really love the whole storyline of Selkies, and I wanted fiction books to read about them. So not just mermaids, but Selkies too. So this is one I picked up. I don't know, I've never read it. So we'll see if it's good. Another Selkie story I got is Tides by Betsy Cornwell. This is also young adult. So young adult and young adult, I believe. And this one looks really pretty. Look at just the, you can see my camera, but just the cover is so cute. You have the cute little seal, and then you have the Selkie. So I don't know what this is about. I'm hoping it'll be good. But this is when Noah Gallagher and his sister Lo go to live with their grandmother in her island cottage for the summer, they don't expect much in the way of adventure. Noah has landed a marine biology internship and Lo wants to draw and paint. And then they meet Maria, who's beautiful and aloof, and she has a voice like nothing Noah's ever heard before. Ooh, so it sounds like a boy falling in love with a Selkie. Okay. Next is Sea Witch. This one, I think Sea Witch is, I think it's young adult. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. And this one is actually the one I'm going to read next once I finish my dirty little merman book. So Sea Witch is the other take. This is, you have the Disney's Ariel, the Little Mermaid, and then you have Ursula, the Sea Witch. Well, this is Ursula's story, pretty much. So it's kind of like a story as to how the Sea Witch came to be. I don't know if it's actually Ursula though, because I don't see the name here on the back, but I don't know if it's like a background story or what, but I think this one's going to be really, really, really good. Before she took the mermaid's voice, she gave up her own heart. So it's the Sea Witch's story versus the mermaid story. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be different. And yeah, so I bought this one brand new at Barnes & Noble. This is called Monstrous Beauty. Now, I read this book a long time ago, a long time ago. And I remember it being very sad. But I don't remember it enough to give you guys a good review, so I have to read it again. But this is it's Monstrous Beauty by Elizabeth Fama. And this says, when fierce mermaid Sirenka falls in love with a human named Ezra, she abandons her life underwater for a chance at happiness on land. The choice comes with horrific and deadly consequences. So I remember this book being really sad. I just don't know the details. So I have to read it again. I believe this is I want to say this is young adult, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to remember. But yeah, so Monstrous Beauty. Here's another Selkie story. This is called The Brides of Rollrock Island. The Brides of Rollrock Island by Margot Lanigan. This one is on a remote Rollrock Island. Men make their living and fetch their wives from the sea. The witch Miss Sakala knows how to find the girl at heart of a seal. She'll coax a beauty from the beast for any man for a price. Ooh. And that man, what man wouldn't want a sea wife for his own? But though he may tell himself that he is the master, one look in the new bride's eyes will transform him just as much as it changes her. Both will be ensnared and the witch will look on laughing. In this magical sea-swept novel, Margot Lanigan tells an extraordinary tale of despair, desire, and transformation. With devastatingly beautiful prose, she reveals her characters capable of unspeakable cruelty, but also unspoken love. I love books like this where it's like, it's not just frou-frou fairy tale, like, ooh, it's mermaid fiction. Like, it's dark stuff, too. So I'm hoping this one will be really good. I have a feeling it's going to be heartbreaking, too. It just has that vibe to it. Okay, so when I was hunting for my mermaid books, I also wanted Mermen, which is where I found that nasty book that I have. But I also found this one called Rising, and it's by Holly Kelly. I want to say this is young adult, but I could be wrong. I don't see anywhere that it says. But yeah, Rising. Rising. In a war between humans and the inhabitants of the sea, humans will lose. Xaneth Demetrio, the most lethal Dagonian to rise from the ocean, is on a mission to save mankind from annihilation. But first, there's one small thing he needs to do: kill a beautiful young woman in a wheelchair. That's wild. And then it goes into like why he has to kill her and this and that. So I don't know. Is it a love story in the making? Maybe. But I was really drawn to the story because it has to do with a merman, and you don't really get a lot of mermen in your mermaid stories. Like when you're looking for mermaid books, like they're always like these like outrageously sexy women on covers, and I'm just kind of like, I need something more. I need something more. So this one will be kind of interesting to read, to see the merman's take on the story. This one, when I bought this one, I didn't realize it's actually like a witchy spell book for sea witches. It's the magical mermaids and water creatures invoke the magic of the waters. So when I bought it, I was thinking it was like with the intention of something similar to that other mermaid book I showed you guys where it talks about the fantasy and all that stuff. But this actually goes into some detail about the mermaid, the lore and all that, but it also gives you spells. So how to use the elements with your work and whatnot. It's kind of interesting. Like it has a chapter on lake mermaids, ocean mermaids. It's interesting. There's some really cool artwork in here. But yeah, here it talks about earth power magic, water rituals. So it does kind of go into like witchy spells and stuff, which that's not too much my flavor. Like that's not everything I was looking for when I was getting the book, but the cover is cool. So we'll see. This is another young adult book. This is Siren by Kira Cass. I bought this one used off of Goodreads. No, not Goodreads, Thrift Books. And this one is a girl with a secret, the boy of her dreams, an ocean between them. So who is the mermaid or merman and who isn't? So it's a love story. I believe this is I want to say this is also a series, but I could be wrong. So yeah, I don't know. Beautiful cover, the Siren. Beautiful cover. It's another love story. You get a lot of love stories with the mermaid books. And lastly, my last book. Sorry guys if this is super long, but you guys, those of you guys who appreciate mer fiction will get it. This is called House of Salt and Sorrows. Freaking gorgeous book cover. Can we just like please appreciate the amazing beauty of this? This is by Erin Craig. This is, I believe this is adult. I don't know. I could be wrong. Ooh, I have a tarot card in there. This, I could be wrong. It could be young adult. I don't know. But basically this is, it says, Anna Lee lives in a sheltered life at High Moor, a manor by the sea, with her sisters and their father and stepmother. Once there were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death was more tragic than the last, the plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slippery plunge, and there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that the family is cursed by the gods. Ooh, so it's just, it seems like a creepy story, kind of like a horror twist to it. So I really am looking forward to reading this one. This one got a lot of really good reviews from what I could see on Goodreads when I was listing it as a to read. So I'm hopeful for that, but yes. So that, you guys, is my whole pile of mermaid glory. I have a large growing collection of mermaid books. I'm obsessed. I've loved mermaids since I was a little girl. And so throughout the month of Mermay, I will be reading mermaid fiction, and the ones that I do finish, I will do reviews on for you guys. I also have a workbook that I'm going to be putting out. I'm probably going to be making it available within the next day or two. So it's going to have a lot of these books listed in it as book recommendations from me. And just like some other mermaid fun stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know, comment below if I did not mention a mermaid book that you personally love and that you recommend, because I'm always looking for more. And other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.